The following lesson will teach you how to use weight map to modulate displacement map or even create displacement map. And in the following scene, I have extracted part of a model, which is basically a crocodile top jaw, and use the smooth operator to actually remove all the bumps to be able to recreate those bumps as I see fit. The first step that needs to be done here is apply an actual weight map onto the model, and on that model we need to actually, if we press W here, obviously the base weight is being 1, so the entire surface actually in this case would have been displaced by 1. So what we want to do, we want to start with a base weight of 0, which means no displacement map, and we'll use the weight paint tool to add displacement map where needed. So I've pressed W to get the actual tool here to paint weight values over the surface. So I will start to actually paint some of the actual displacement map where needed. So voila, I'm going to start to get these very bumps that are near the lips and the jaw, right here, another here, and maybe some here. We'll get some of over the nose, for example, and voila. And we'll need to do some similar thing over the top of the head to create this row of bumps, which makes the crocodile a little bit look a little bit mean and dangerous. So now I've pretty much painted all the bumps that I wanted to do. Now what we need to use is the actual weight paint smooth to get this area really smooth, such that it doesn't create very steep displacement, but they're rather like smooth bumps. So we'll be using the Alt key to trigger the actual paint, smooth operator or smooth process. We'll need to reduce slightly the weight paint size because we don't want the actual blur to erase the actual area we just painted previously. So let's start to actually smooth this area right here like this. It's just perfect. Probably a little bit too much. Let's add a little bit here. That's pretty good. We'll just do few clicks since the actual area is quite small, and we'll do this for every aspect here. Voila. And we do this one here, do this one here. Voila. That sounds like pretty interesting. This one I'll just add a little bit more here and start to paint this so we can have the nozzle, stick out a little bit more. So now we've completed the weight paint process, and we're pretty much done with it, and we'll be using this weight value to trigger or actually push the surface through a displacement map. So the next step here is actually to get a map lookup shader. These can be found under map lookup. You have a choice of either using a color, scalar, vector, integer, or boolean. This case, what we've just painted is pretty much a height information, and there's no point in actually using a color map lookup because there's really no color information. Even though it looks it is displayed at color, but actually the actual value is a height, so there's no point of using colors. In this case we'll be using scalar. Basically it will actually get the displacement map pretty straightforward because there's no conversion shader that is needed. The shader is already doing this displacement, this conversion for us. So we'll go and open the shader and pick the weight map we just painted right here, and the factor here is more or less a multiplication factor. So if we want the displacement map to be 2 times more intense, let's say for example, then we could type 2. In this case I just want to have a subtle displacement map, slightly like 0.5 in soft image unit space. soft image units. And once we have done this, let me refresh this. We'll need to simply take this and do a draw region. So you'll see that what we just painted actually created these displacement here, and you actually just created your own displacement map through weight paint painting, for example. You could do the same thing with color at vertices. The only difference here is that you'll be painting grayscale. So this is really a matter of choice. I personally prefer weight painting weight because I found the actual weight smooth a little bit better than the color at vertices smooth operation. So this is an example how to use weight map to paint displacement map. Thank you.